We are going to cover, as I mentioned before, network marketing, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm going to cover this is going to be a great topic for those that are, particularly those that are new to the industry, or maybe those that are checking it out prior to actually getting started. Evening, Caroline, great to have you on. Hope you've had an awesome day in the sauna, fabulous. So this is going to be a really interesting topic for a lot of people. Now, what I'm going to tell you here is, if you are new to the industry, maybe not long there. Evening, Ollie, good to have you on. Hope you've had an awesome day, buddy. Whether you're new, maybe you've just got started a few weeks, few months, you're still finding your way in the industry, that you're certainly going to hear some stuff tonight, which is going to open your eyes, I'm sure. So I'm going to take you through the good points within the industry, the bad and the ugly. And most importantly, I'm going to share with you how you can enjoy more of the good and far less of the bad and the ugly, which I'm sure if you are watching the live or the recorded version after the live, and you would like to experience more of the good inside of network marketing than the bad or the ugly, just drop me a 1 in the comments if you would like to experience more of the good, even though I've not disclosed what my interpretation of the good is just yet, as we'll get into that in a second. But I know you're going to get a ton of value out of this as always. Good evening, Helen. Good evening, Tracy. Good to have you on. So let's get rolling through the content, guys. So we're going to start off. I always like to start on a positive note and end on a positive note. My type of personality. So we'll start off with the good, and then we'll go through the bad, the ugly, and I'll finish off with how you can enjoy more of the good inside of the industry and much less of the bad and the ugly, because we don't want to live there, certainly. So okay, let's get moving. So I'm going to go through the content, or my opinion of the good inside of this amazing industry. Now, excuse me, the first thing I'm going to talk about is relationships. Now, this is existing relationships, so relationships you already have with your friends and your family that you have in your network, and the new relationships, particularly the new relationships that you're going to generate throughout the industry. Now, one of the most amazing things in this industry is the number of people that you meet that become lifelong friends, and they are very, very different to friends that you may have experienced previously. Why? Because inside of this industry, good evening, Gareth, great to have you on, buddy. One of the reasons that this is amazing with the relationships inside of the industry is that the people that we meet are inspirational people. They have amazing stories behind them, and they are driven, they develop themselves, they want more from life. So these people that you come into contact with are uplifting. So the relationships you make inside the network marketing are incredible. Then you have your team. So as you begin to grow an organization and your customer base for your product or service, you start to develop relationships with team members within your organization and your customers. And if you work the business properly, you will be investing into those relationships to get the best out of your team, to help your customers and give them the highest quality of service that you could possibly give. So really, really important relationships. So that's number 1 on the good list. Next one is being a part of something that is much greater than yourself. Now, I know a lot of people inside the network marketing industry who do not have the intention of growing a monster business, a huge organization, being a top earner, being a 6-figure earner, any of that stuff. They love the product or the service, of course, but most importantly, they just love to be a part of something that is much greater than themselves. And that is what you have inside the network marketing. So you have a vehicle which can serve people. It can serve people to give them financial freedom, time freedom, allow them to experience the finer things in life, but also it allows you to serve customers, whether that is through health and wellness products, whether that's through travel or utilities, whatever your company does, it allows you to serve people in that manner. So it's really, really good. Next thing is the good inside of the industry. It's a low cost investment and a high ROI, so a high return on investment. So this is probably it is the cheapest business model you could ever stumble across in your life, with the highest potential gain from it. And the gain obviously is not just the financial aspect, as I'll go through in a second. It is far more than that. But for what you invest into a network marketing business and the return on investment, if you work that business properly and you develop yourself, you're going to see huge returns in comparison to the investment that you made. When you look at a conventional business, the stats are, you know, up close to 100,000 for some of the conventional businesses that people establish, and most conventional businesses also, they are pretty content that they are not going to start to make profit, sometimes for 2 years. So you need to be aware of that. You can be generating profit and you can already have a return on investment inside of this industry in just a couple of weeks, which is incredible. Evening, Yvonne, good to have you on. The next one is helping other people. So whether that is through the business or through your products or your service, you have the ability to impact everyone that you come into contact with, both currently and in the future. You have the opportunity to help people, and if you have the outward mentality of and the vision of helping people and being a servant to people to provide value, you are going to be a rock star in this industry. I kid you not. If you go out there and you find people's problems, whether it be financial, time, freedom, they want to travel more, they love to meet other people, that you can serve them with your business opportunity, whatever your product or service is. Again, you can serve people by finding problems of which your product or service is the answer to those problems. So you can be a servant to people and help many people across the world. Next thing is personal growth. So if you are currently working on yourself, whether that's your skill set inside the network marketing, prospecting, inviting, following up, whether it's social media, marketing, or working on your mindset, etc., just drop me a 2 in the comments. Let's see who is working on themselves. Personal growth. We know that if we invest in ourselves, we are going to be able to deliver more value to the marketplace, and then we are going to be able to get to where we want to go in terms of our goals. So nice one. Ollie is working on himself. Great stuff. The next thing is travel. So you're going to find a lot of people in today's society who love to travel. So they love to travel the world. That could be anything. So what do you have inside the network marketing? Awesome, Yvonne, good. Another one working on personal growth. So what do you have inside of the network marketing industry? Well, you have the opportunity where every single company runs incentive trips. So every few months, 6 months, etc., you have the opportunity to qualify for an incentive trip. So all you have to do is meet the required productivity level for your specific company, and they will jet you off, they'll put you on a cruise liner, whatever it may be, and take you around the world on exclusive 5-star holidays, which is amazing. Away from that, they also have the opportunity to travel to training events, training seminars. You have company events, so typically most companies will have 1, 2 or 3 large company scale events every single year in the countries that they are active, and that is an opportunity for hundreds if not thousands of people to turn up who are distributors within that company. The company owners would be there, and you can have an absolutely phenomenal time traveling around the country, meeting like-minded people who inspire you to be better, to want more and to have more. And that is what you have inside of this industry. It's honestly incredible. And I'm going to finish off the good inside of the industry with something that is one of my, it's one thing that makes me love this industry so much. It's incredible. The holidays always sound amazing. Jenny and I have to get one. Absolutely, Caroline. You can put a plan in place and get yourself on the next incentive trip. Absolutely. So I'm going to finish off with something that for me is one of the biggest things that lights me up inside of the network marketing industry, and I'll tell you why. Is I have been successful inside of the industry, and that is great, but there is nothing better than watching your people succeed. And you can come into contact with people inside of the industry, you can introduce them to the business model, and you can help them to achieve everything they want in life and more, and live an abundant life. It's incredible. So what I'm referring to here is it allows ordinary people to achieve extraordinary things. It is really incredible, this industry. If you agree with that, drop me a 3 in the comments. I see so many stories from people within my organisation, sideline teams, different companies where I have great friends in different companies, where you have ordinary people who would normally settle for a 9 to 5 and work their way through a traditional career, who come inside of this industry and they literally hit it out of the park. It is incredible to watch. They will go, for example, you could have a story which is a common one within the industry, where you have a single mother who is looking after the children at home, which is a great feat in its own, who starts within the industry and suddenly rises to fame within the industry, becomes a 6 or 7 figure earner, and lives an abundant life which most people can only dream of. And inside of the network marketing industry, that is absolutely possible for anyone who decides. As I say all the time, network marketing works for 100% of people who give it 100% of the time. You just need to put the work in and work on yourself alongside it. So that is the good, guys. I like to see the 3s there. That's good work. We are going to move on to the bad now. So these are some of the bad points in the industry. Remember, when I go through the bad and the ugly, they do not necessarily have to happen to you. A lot of it is within your own control. So the first thing is, you are going to have to deal with uneducated judgment. Now, Eric Worre says this best. What we have to provide every single person that we come into contact with that is not already someone who has been exposed to the network marketing industry is we have to educate people every single day. So our responsibility is to provide education and understanding to other people. Once they are educated and they understand this industry, they will never look back, and very, very few people will turn away from it. It's incredible, it really is. So uneducated judgment is something you are going to face, where people call it a pyramid scheme and things like this, where they don't understand that it's one of the most legitimate business models in the globe, and that it creates more wealthy people than any other industry in the entire world. It is an incredible industry to be a part of. Next up on the bad list is you have to face the mirror. Now, this is not easy, guys, I kid you not. So I want you now to drop me a 4 in the comments if you have had a moment inside of the network marketing industry already where if you have had to look yourself in the mirror, and by that I mean you have had to stand and have a little bit of reflection, self-awareness to say, I am not good enough to be where I want to be inside of the industry. I need to work on, you know, maybe your mindset, your skills within prospecting and recruiting or marketing. I have got to work on something in order for me to achieve the level of goals that I have set for myself. And that is true for me as well, guys. I've had a lot of experience in my life, inside my military career, inside of coaching and mentoring and teaching, but inside of the network marketing industry, this is very, very different. So there is some skill transfer, excuse me, depending on what your previous background was, but for most people there is certainly something that they have to work on. So you have to look in the mirror and be honest with yourself to say, what do I need to work on in order for me to achieve the goals that I set myself? So really important one. Next thing is a lack of education and skill in prospecting. So this kind of ties in with the previous point, but most people come into the industry and they have a high level of enthusiasm and a low level of skill in terms of prospecting and recruiting. So they need to learn how to invite professionally and effectively. They need to learn how to follow up with people and close people and allow people to take the blindfolds off to their objections. They need to learn how to connect with people properly. So these are all skills. So what we need to do over time is maintain the level of enthusiasm and excitement and raise the level of skill. But that is a problem. So it's one of the bad elements, is that people come in with very low levels of skill required to be successful in the industry, and they do not bother to work on themselves, then blame the industry. So that is one of the bad points. Next thing is lack of education and skill within marketing. So what you will find inside of this industry is that other people will teach, so leaders within companies will teach their team in terms of duplication, offline techniques. So how to go out there and prospect and recruit, how to find customers for a product or a service, which is all great, and I am absolutely not knocking that. I have built a very successful business off the back of it. However, the clue is in the title, network marketing. Therefore, there needs to be a marketing element. Guess what? As you work your list and you go through them, inviting, etc., that list is going to dwindle. Yeah, so give me, what are we on now? I think it's a 5. So if you yourself or you know anyone within your team who is starting to say, my list is dwindling, I'm running out of people to speak to, drop me a 5 in the comments. Now this is where marketing comes into play. Now what I suggest to new people, and this is what you should teach new people when they come inside of the industry, is that yes, they create a list of their hot and warm market and they start to connect with people, invite them to look at what they do in terms of business, in terms of product or service, absolutely 100%. But at the same time, they need to start placing content out there, whether it's on social media or the internet in general. They place marketing content out there to attract people that they want to take a look at the business, to take a look at the product or the service. And as your list begins to diminish in terms of your current list, with your marketing content, you then start to build a new list of all of these new connections, but not just new connections, people who you are attracting to you, who are interested in what you do. They are interested in your business opportunity or your product or your service. So it's so important. So marketing. So the next bad is where there is people, there is drama. Now you need to understand this. Inside of network marketing, it is true. But if you look at my old career within the military, whether you look at the corporate world, absolutely every industry that involves people, there is drama, and it is no different inside the network marketing. So as you go through your time inside of the industry, you are going to experience drama. So my upline quit and walked away, or you have people complaining that their uplines are not building under them, or they're not following through with their promises, and absolutely everything. People will leave and join other companies and be bad-mouthed. You'll have a whole host of drama within companies, and it's absolutely normal. You should never run out of people to speak to because of exactly what you're saying. Yeah, nice one, Ollie, perfect. And yeah, so where there is people, there is drama. Just appreciate that. Do not involve yourself in the drama. Stay laser focused in your lane and you won't go far wrong. Next one is the entrepreneurial roller coaster. So guys, this is what is going to happen for the vast majority of people inside of the industry. They will get started, they will have that high level of excitement and enthusiasm, and their business will take off. They will find customers, they will find team members, they will start to pick up paychecks, they will be doing very well for themselves, and then maybe some people join another company, some people quit, the upline quits, things happens, entrepreneurial journey hits, and from up here they start to dip. Now this is what is going to make you or break you. So when the times get tough, what you need to do is pull up your tough guy pants and pull yourself and do the things that made you successful in the first place. Go back to connecting with people, place your marketing content out there, do the things that work in the industry, work through the tough spell and bring yourself back up. But the reason I say it's an entrepreneurial roller coaster is because it is going to go like this throughout your time inside of the industry. But here is the magic. Now, as you go up to your peak here and you come down, your objective is, as you go and take a little bit of a dip, is that your next peak is above the last peak. And it will work like this all the way until you look back and you're up here and you started down here. And that is exactly what happens inside of the industry, guys. Do not be shocked when things go like this throughout your journey within the industry. Remember, you are growing, your business is growing, everything is moving forward the entire time. So do not be disheartened and just stick with it. Again, just work through the tough spells and know I have absolute 100% faith that you're going to get through this. So we're now going to move on to the ugly. Not too many points on this, as you would expect. It's an awesome industry, but we're going to go through some of the ugly, which is, in my opinion. Now, number one is ridicule. So kind of touched on this slightly in a different way, but ridicule inside of the industry, depending on your previous your previous experience, your previous job, how you held yourself in society previously, people are going to judge you. So people will laugh at you, they will talk behind your back, they will ridicule you, sometimes to your face, on social media, to other people. Guess why? Going back to education and understanding again, they do not understand what the industry is. And I'm going to cover a really awesome topic tomorrow, which you might want to share the pants off and maybe tag some people in, because it is going to open some people's eyes into what this industry actually is and what it is not. Now, that ridicule is something you have to have rhino skin. You need to have a mentality where your vision does not require anyone's approval. I'll say that again. Your vision does not require anyone's approval. Zero, nil, nobody's approval. Not your spouse, not your parents, not your friends, nobody. It is your vision, it is your belief and your business. You need to take it by take the reins and run with it and prove every single person wrong. For every person that jokes, for every person that ridicules you, you need to use that as fuel and ammunition to go and prove them wrong. If they want to come and look at somebody, tell them to pop me a message and I'll make them sick with my paychecks. That is the sort of humour. You need to bat people off and not worry about it, honestly. Okay, so that is point one on the ugly. The next thing is lies and miscommunication. So people are going to lie and there's going to be miscommunication inside of the industry. And that, again, going back to where there is people and drama, where there is people, there is always drama. Do you block them or does it depend? So Ollie, in all honesty, I never block people unless they completely overstep the line. So this is an example of what I do with social media. So if I put a post on social media as an example, this is one of the most common places where people will feed you negativity. Why? Because they don't have to have the balls to say it to your face, and they can be the keyboard warrior who puts snidey comments on your content. Now, if it is a one-off remark and they maybe disagree with what I say, I'm a big boy, I will simply say, hey, I respect your opinion, it is working for me and millions of other people across the planet, but hey, respect your opinion, on to the next. If they make a habit out of being negative, this is where I would remove them from my friends list. I do not, firstly, want anyone that's negative or inside of my friends list. Secondly, I do not want someone who is going to drag down my content on social media. So if you have someone who is repetitively negative, get rid of them. If they are a friend or a close friend or family before you joined the industry and they have kind of turned on you slightly, then just unfollow them in social media so you don't have to see their content. They won't know about that. It doesn't send a notification. And then if it gets too bad, just unfriend them. It is your life, your business. My dad told me today to give up this ridiculous job and find a proper job. Yeah, Chantel, what can I say? He is, again, lack of education and understanding on the industry. You do not worry about it whatsoever. You wear your golden fleece or your rhino skin, whatever you want to call it, and everything bounces off you. You know, my vision is so big that it requires nobody's approval. There is absolutely not a person on this planet that could budge me out of my lane. Why? Because I have had huge results inside of this industry and I see hundreds of other people having huge results, some far, far greater than what I'm having. So that inspires me and I know it is possible, and you should know that it is possible from the people within your own organisation as well. Moving on, spamming. So the ugly, the last point on the ugly is spamming. This is one of the worst things inside of this industry. Now, in the olden days, when network marketing was around, let's say, I say olden days, if anyone has been around this era, please don't send a bomb through the postal courier to my house. But you go back about 40 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, the network marketing industry was successful on prospecting and recruiting. So people connected with each other, be it on phone, face-to-face, etc, 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 etc. But now, with the dawn of the internet and social media, people are connected everywhere across the planet. So even someone who didn't have a huge amount of friends and family now can have hundreds or thousands of connections across the planet. What does that mean? It means that someone can do the industry a lot of harm. So let's say years ago, someone was inside of network marketing and they maybe oversold what network marketing can do. Maybe they sold it as a get rich quick scheme. Hey, come in, give me a few £100 and you'll be making £10,000 within a couple of months. All of this ludicrous stuff that people put out there to try and get people, and totally forgetting that they will quit, you know, within a matter of days, weeks, because they've been missold in what the industry offers. All of these sort of things previously, they would be contained to a certain extent. But now on social media, we have millions of people inside the industry, and we have hundreds of thousands of people who don't do it, they do it a disservice. So they spam content of their business, of their product and service all over social media. They put ridiculously exaggerated claims everywhere. Sometimes it's on financial opportunities and income. Sometimes it's on a product or a service. And all of this spamming degrades the industry, and it makes it harder for me and you to build a more reputable business. But that is one of the ugly. You do not have to fall into that trap, and you can stay well clear of it. Okay guys, that was the good, the bad and the ugly. What I'm now going to share is some things that you can do to make sure that you have more of the good and less of the bad and ugly, or none of the bad and the ugly, shall I say. So the first thing is, when you come into this industry, wherever you are in the industry, be inspired. So be inspired and don't hold back. Now, what I mean by that, guys, is your passion, your excitement, your enthusiasm, your energy, that is going to carry you for months and months in this industry. You can have zero skill on inviting, on following up, on closing. You can have zero skill on social media, on marketing. Your passion and excitement for your business opportunity, for your product and your service can carry you for miles. If you are excited enough, people will follow you for miles. It is incredible to watch. You just need to be passionate and excited, and people will be drawn to you like a magnet. It is incredible. So that is the top tip so far. Next thing is, treat your business like a business. Network marketing. So work is in the title. It is a business, guys. So many people come into this industry, think they can dip their toe into the business, not do anything in terms of productivity. They don't connect with people, they don't invite people to look at the product or service, and they complain they have no paycheck, and they say, hey, network marketing doesn't work. Well, guess what? Nothing works unless you do. So that is the message you need to get across to people. Expectation management for your teams, if you have any, and as you grow your teams, is that this is a business. You need to treat it like a business. If you're not connecting with people every single day, if you're not inviting people to look at your product or service or your business opportunity, if you're not placing marketing content out there for people to be drawn towards you, it is the equivalent of someone who owns a cafe or a conventional shop to just lock the door and have no way for customers to access their facility. It is you effectively saying, I am not open for business, which is crazy. So treat it like a business. Next thing is commit to personal development. So skills within the industry need to be developed if you want to get better, and your own personal development, so your mindset and your personal growth, are crucial if you want longevity within the industry. If you want to rise up through leadership positions to six-figure earner and beyond, you need to work on yourself. So as far as prospecting and recruiting is concerned, you working on those skills. Let's say you have been a few weeks, a couple of months in the industry, and you invite 10 people to look at your business. Let's say you find and recruit one person for every 10 you speak to as your statistic. You have a trend there to work from, tracking your numbers. As you move forward and you work on your skills in terms of inviting, following up, closing, overcoming objections, suddenly over the course of the months ticking off, you may find yourself in a position where you sponsor 3 people in 10. That is a reflection of you working on your skill. So what I'm saying is, do not be dejected to start with if your stats are low, but commit to working on yourself throughout the entire thing, and work on yourself. Your personal development and mindset is crucial, because it is probably the biggest thing that holds people back. It goes back to my previous point of be inspired and don't hold back. Most people's problem inside of this industry is that they hide in the corner like so, like a timid little mouse. Now what I mean by that, it might sound funny, but if they go all in and they are here and they are, hey, this is my business, or this is my business, I'm a network marketing professional, I'm a professional business owner, I market such and such, this is me, I am a servant to people of this product and service, I'm going to help create financial freedom for hundreds and thousands of people. I'm going to impact the world. I'm excited. I'm going for it. This is what I'm doing. They're not holding back. They burn the boats. They go for it. If people operated from that tempo, they would have huge success. But instead, they again go back down here in the corner like the shy little mouse, and they feel like they are a part of something that I don't know, that they cannot be proud of. Maybe they feel that it's, you know, some dodgy thing on the side. This industry is incredible. It creates millionaires all over the world, and you can be a part of that. It's up to you to work on the mindset in order for you to care less about what other people say and more about where you want to go on this planet. You got one life and you better hell well live it. Jerry used to work away a lot, 33 years now, we're doing well. Business and women jealous, call me. Yeah, I'll read that properly, Caroline, later, because it's going off. It's too much to see on the live. Right, guys, so moving on, where we commit to personal. So build relationships. So what I want to get to you now, guys, as we kind of wrap up the last few points, is build relationships. So your network will determine your net worth. So your network is not the number of friends that you have on Facebook. Your network is the number of people that you invest time into to build relationships with those people. Now, you need to give value. You need to be a giver, not a taker. If all you do is contact people to take, can you help me with X, Y, and Z? Can you buy my product or service? Can you look and join my business opportunity? You will never, ever, ever be successful at anything that you do in terms of a service-based company, product-based company, etc. You need to have a mentality and a mindset where you provide, you are a giver, not a taker. Next one, learn how to tell stories. I spoke about this previously the other night, but people buy into stories. Remember, stories sell, facts tell. So you need to become an expert storyteller based around your business opportunity, what it's doing for you. If it's not had a huge impact on you because you've just got started or you've had no success yet, don't worry, we have all been there. Use someone else within your company, someone you know. Hey, I've just started, but my friend John is over here. He is rocking it. This is what he's done doing this, this, and this. And you can sell them on that story, on the impact it has had on that person's life. Same with your product or your service. You sell them on the vision. Tell stories about your customers. If you don't have customers, use someone else's. Sell them on the stories, on your personal story as well. Hopefully you're a product of your product or your service, and you are selling the vision of what the product is doing for you and all of your customers. Expert storyteller, and you will make an absolute hugely successful business in the industry. The next thing is where we say learn to tell stories. Become an expert communicator. So next thing is you need to learn to listen. I got a great friend of mine who is an awesome guy, and he is a salesperson inside of not network marketing, something completely different. And I love his one-liner he says, which is, we were born with 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You need to be becoming an expert communicator is about you listening. So you obviously speak at the appropriate times, but you need to learn to listen to other people. You need to listen and ask leading questions to find out how you can serve other people. What can I do for them with my business opportunity? What can I do with them or for them with my product or my service? If you get good at that, you are simply the middleman. You are simply offering solutions to someone's problems, whether it is time freedom, financial freedom, you know, a health problem with your product, or whether it's, you know, something else in a service-based company. So absolutely anything there. So learn how to be next one, learn how to be a professional marketer. Now this goes across social media and what is encompassed within that. So marketing, remember, is who am I trying to attract for my business opportunity, for my product, for my service? What are their problems, and how can I create content which solves those problems, free value, and attracts those people to me? So that is attraction marketing. You need to also brand yourself. If you want to take this seriously, you need to be involved in personal branding. Remember personal branding? Who am I? What do I stand for? So your personal brand, you have one, whether you like it or not. your personal brand is what people say about you when you are not there. So for example, if it is Caroline or Ollie who's on the live now, if they say, for example, hey, what do you think of Ollie? What does he represent? Or hey, what do you think of Caroline? What do they represent? Whatever someone says about you will be your personal brand. What do you stand for on this planet? And you can obviously impact that. What you need to think about in terms of your personal branding is, what do I want to stand for? What type of people do I want to attract into my life? Because who you are is who you will attract. So if you want to attract rock stars, driven, motivated, passionate, enthusiastic people into your business, guess what you have to be? You cannot be something else and hope to attract something which you are not, guys. That is honestly, a gold mine tip for you. So that is that. I'm going to close up, guys, with, remember, your network will determine your net worth. So that is obviously it. Good evening, Ellie. Great to have you on. Hope you're well. Now, if you want to increase your income, increase your value. So your network is worth your net worth. A couple of great quotes for you here. If you want to increase your income, increase your value. And the last one is a quote that I got from Jim Rohn, who is an absolutely awesome trainer. He's obviously passed on now, but he's still one of the finest trainers that I've ever seen in the industry, top guy. And this is one of my favourite quotes in the world. Now, if you want to be a rock star inside of this industry, drop me a thumbs up inside the comments. So if your ambition inside of this industry is to be maybe a six-figure earner, to reach the top of your company's compensation plan, if you want to be qualifying for every incentive trip, if your ambition is to go to the top, drop me a thumbs up in the comments. Now, this comment is going to apply to you guys, because this is how you reach greatness. Now, this is from Jim Rohn, as I said before. I'm going to close up the live with this. Don't herd cats. Yeah, absolutely, Ellie. That's another cracker. Just had to call come through there. So I'm going to close up the live with this quote. So, find a way to serve the many, for service to many leads to greatness. So I'll say that one. Somebody is non-stop on the call. So I'll say that once more to close the call. Find a way to serve the many, for service to many leads to greatness. That's it, guys, for tonight's live. If you got value from this one, drop me a value into the comments. As always, appreciate you all for being on here. If you know anyone else inside of the industry, maybe in your team, that needs to hear the message tonight, please tag them in the video, share it on your personal profile, into your team page, whatever you would like. Sharing is caring. The more that we can educate this amazing profession, the better and the easier it will be for us to build businesses. Hopefully, I can see some of you guys got value. I appreciate you being on. Enjoy the rest of your evening, whatever you are up to, and I will catch you all tomorrow at 7.